I'm cleaning everything up. And coffee is good for the daytime. Not every day because then I lose the effect, but I need like 3 days, and then my tolerance won't grow so high where it's just a sweet drink. So 3 days a week where I get back, where I'm like moving in the day early on important stuff. Every day I gotta be ready. Excuse me. Because man, the devil pulls you down every day, every day. He's like, look at the clock, look at the clock, look. You're gonna move on you soon. He doesn't say the devil because he doesn't want to remind me who's really your enemy. Remember that. If you probably, when you hear me talk about the devil, why don't you take control of your life and just like, manage your life like everyone else does. You're doing bad because you have some bad habits or you're disorganized. Stop blaming the devil. Take control of your responsibility. Let's just say, okay, I'll do it. I'll subscribe. If you attach the devil to everything bad, your morals are up to you. But when you start attaching God and the devil, subconsciously, you need to really take account on what's really good and what's really bad. It's either the devil or God. So when you try to Mel Robbins your life, and you start adding the word devil to everything that goes wrong, that word takes, this spell, the identity, right? The subscription identity. I'm a philanthropist, homosexual, sex positive, ethical, non-monogamous human. Evolving human, just like everybody else. No one's perfect, but you have to have the love for yourself to wake up every day and feel perfect. Okay? Because we all know, you don't need to remind yourself negatively that the world is going to remind you you're not perfect. And you just have to get up and pull your pants back on. So what I'm saying is, you need to get clear, with what's going on. Good, bad. You don't like the word devil? No, you need to, because the word devil is the truth. And the truth slices through the bullshit. So when you have all these bullshit identities and these labels, the word devil attached to anything bad simply slices your identity from oh my god, I'm a loser, man, I can't get up on time, and all my shit's disorganized, I can never, and fucking so-and-so rejected me, I can never, I. So you go from one man, I'm amazing, I'm a loser, I'm amazing, I'm a loser. It's not proper accreditation to who's responsible in this world. And there's no you. You're just this little blob. I'm not going to get into that philosophy, but it's true. There's only God and devil. And you start to attribute properly, accurately, or as accurate as possible, which one of these two is responsible for what you're doing. You slice through the bullshit and you make clear the truth in the world before you and what's really going on. Alright, so when I'm saying the devil is anytime I'm feeling that it's the devil. And so once you say that word, and in time it gets even quicker and it's stronger, and it's some shit's happening that you normally bang yourself over the head over, you're I'm such it, and you just go the devil, and it's and then whatever bad was quicksand you were in, you're that's the devil. He came down and put me into his realm, his lap, attached me to his puppet strings. I'm saying psychologically, it's obviously advantageous, but it's just the truth. Almost every breath, the devil is there to try to inject doubt into your thinking. If you don't notice it, you're probably in the life of a wounded rabbit. Okay? Every breath is a wounded rabbit. You never include God in your breath. You don't even know that you have a will. You think you're a statistic. So every breath there's a That's where you're getting ready to act on your will or the devil's. And what you do is you take a breath. And when you exhale to execute, you're not executing your will, you're executing the government's, or I don't know, whatever the Netflix false idol hero is. Peaky Blinders, that's a very popular show that keeps popping up into my feed. I don't know, This Is Us. What else are you, who are your gods that are taking your breath, that are taking your will and redirecting it towards hell, basically? So, you have to mind your subscriptions, mind your false idols, mind who you follow. And, I'm on board with this whole God and the devil thing. I'm just telling you, psychologically, if you attach everything that troubles you to the devil, you will start to resubscribe. You're gonna let go of all these false subscriptions. I can't make it easy. Can't make it easy for you just because. You have to be strict and truthful with your language. So the devil is responsible for everything bad that happens to you. It's like, I got hit by a car, and it's like, well, you could say, technology is a perversion of the devil. Okay, but I was just walking across the street and the light was green. It wasn't even my fault. I had nothing to do with it. It doesn't matter whether you had anything to do with it or not. I'm just saying, it's the devil. And God doesn't say you're going to get through this life with no pain. And I don't want to get into it, but pain is a blessing also. Not that you should be looking for it, but you shouldn't be afraid. When you look to go about your life, you should be looking to take risks, because God said there is going to be pain. And I'm not a scholar of the Bible, but I just, based on the truth, I'm going to have to guess that the Bible says something about you have to take some friggin' risks. And I'm pretty sure the Bible didn't say create freaking community safe spaces. So just you need to incorporate, even if you call them fiction, incorporate the devil. And what that will do is that will take all the bad things that you think that are happening because of your brain chemistry and habits associated with. You're going to take all those things and you're going to reassociate them to a subscription that you can let go of. You can give it back to something else. But I don't believe in the devil. I just believe in myself and how I'm evolving through space and time. And statistically speaking, I'm going to commit suicide unless I get help quick. Do you have a number to call, a suicide hotline, or a therapist, or a doctor? Oh, shit. Yeah. Do you want to be hopeless, or do you want to take control? Alright, you want to take control of your life, you need to take it. And this little idea about using the devil is resubscribing all your false beliefs. Have him revoke your subscriptions. Anytime you're like, you have to start looking in the mirror. There's no reason why you shouldn't feel like a blessed child of God every moment of the day, even when the worst things happen to you. I mean, granted, look, the pain of life is going to be so heavy you can't handle it. But if you're in the right mindset, and that takes practice, including the word devil, because he's a real force that wants to steal all your chi till the day you die, so he can easily collect your abandoned soul. Oh, just like the abandoned ship in the commercial world. You're maritime legally. You're considered. They take your person. I don't know if that's they manipulate that word, but we'll say your body, and they legally label that abandoned ship. Symbolically, it's a symbolic thing, but that's like the tried and true operational system, like the admiralty law that worked internationally before we had boats and before we had planes and like global modern international commerce. It all started with the admiralty law, and it was all based on ships, vessels, and and the companies and corporations of such. And they took that model onto the land where men and women under God resided. That's another word they screw you up with. You're not supposed to use the word reside. I can't get into it, but they use that with a new legal definition to put you in a corporate jurisdiction where they can tax you. But they use that maritime law of ships. It's corporate ships, and they sort of transpose that like over you and your mother when you were born. And they first had to get her she's an informant. She had to inform the government of your estate, of your corporate estate, of like your corporate vessel. No, so they took the ship and they abandoned it. Something in the ritual of your placenta, something happened there. But as soon as they put your name and she signed it off, they kind of abandoned your ship and your person. And so they can only regard your corporate status, which is the all caps. It's just like any corporation. It's just an entity, a fictional entity that real people use as like a monopoly token to play the game of Monopoly. Right? So it functions in this matrix monopoly world. It functions in this matrix monopoly world of dead entities, fictional dead entities, right? But obviously, I mean, as per the rules of creation, you need living beings you need life to make this creation, right? So that's why we have God that created everything, right? And so even down in the world, in the devil's illusion of the matrix, he requires us to control it. And so it is us that control our monopoly tokens on this board of Monopoly, which you know how the game works, right? Like one demonic worshiper of the devil standing. Yeah, because if you worship money, and that's what Monopoly is all about, that's the root of all you're worshiping the devil. And so that's the whole point of the devil's game is to be the last entity standing over a pile of dead bodies of God's children. That's life for you, right? So it's good to know. But and how you got into it using that Monopoly token, your mother informed you, and within that admiralty law format that they symbolically they literally use it, but it's symbolically used in the background. Like they don't mention it. They don't say, oh, we're issuing this social security number under admiralty law. But it's just basic. It's corporate law, at least. I don't know exactly how it's stated. I haven't done the research, but that is the idea, and you can start researching and find out that all the things that are governing our lives are of corporate nature, and they do not most of which, unless it's criminal, and we're talking about like harming a person, obviously like their flesh, right? Rape, murder, and then theft starts to get in between, because so we have like your body and then your idea of your stuff, and that's where it gets corporate. Anyway, I can't I spoke too long to finish my thought, but let's get serious about who we are and what governs us, and simplify it. What are the two main governing forces in your life? And this is universal for everyone, the God and the devil. And you start to focus on these things. It's blurry at first, but you start to realize, like, what's more something that the devil's interested in? What's more something that God's interested in? Like my freaking fan here. Like, would God want me more addicted to my fan that's keeping me cool, or would he want me to be outside looking for shade and some wind? You can kind of you can do that with everything in life. Like someone really harms you. And then it's like, God damn, deep down inside, I just want to, at least just beat the crap out of him. Just rub his face in the dirt. And then strap him up and throw him on my trailer and parade him around town with signs denigrating them. You know, what's the good thing to do when you're dealing with evil in the world? And what's, you know, it's kind of a fuzzy air. Like, oh, I just want to at least just punch him in the stomach. How about 10 of us kick him in the legs so he can't walk for a week? Like, you know, it's like, but what did he do? I mean, maybe he raped someone's child, or he killed someone, or he freaking killed someone's pet, or he swindled a bunch of people and tried to take off. He stole. Hey, there was a time when eye for an eye, wrist for, well, you get your wrist cut off for stealing it, and it almost seems like that seems just. Like, come on, just, like, dude, if you're gonna steal, you're gonna lose your hand. Like, it's gonna be harder for you to steal in the future, right? It gets a little blurry, right? But I think when you really focus on the two forces, and you really focus on really what's evil and really what's good, we don't harm others no matter what. We let, I mean, come on, wasn't that somewhere in the beginning? We leave Cain to God. I mean, is he not going to give him perfect judgment? Right? And then how are we to judge at any given point in time? People change. A lot of people don't, but some people do. How are we to know that the perfect judgment is what we have, what we want to prescribe right now? You know, God gives us our life, and he gives us, I think it basically gives us until our heart stops to make change, to accept him, and to worship him. So with that in mind, you really can't take a chapter in your life to judge a particular person. Anyways, so that's it for today. Let's keep our terms simple and our false idols few. Just God and the devil. You can put your whole life and everything that you experience somewhere. A lot of things are clear. A lot of things are in the gray. That's fine. Enjoy your liberal spectrum of confusion, a spectrum of there's a lot of subjectivity and perspective and confusion and chaos. Sure, that's part of being a fallible human, right? Just don't lose sight of the truth, that there is an absolute truth of good and bad, left, right, up, down, heaven, and hell. You may not, just because you can't figure it out to make your life easy, doesn't mean you throw it all out the window and go, life is just whatever I feel to make it easy. It means life is, the absolute truth is a challenge to discover. Don't wait till you die to figure it out, because then it's too late. So don't lose sight of the absolute truth, even though growing in this life is a challenge to just even see and understand. We're born in sin. We're born in the deception of the devil's matrix, right? From the moment that your mother informed you as a corporate entity and disregarded your vessel lost at sea. That's how they treated you symbolically. The system doesn't care about you as the man or woman on the land. Does not, because that's where we get our power. Because that's like our ground on Mother Nature, on the earth, under God. That's where we become aware of who we are within, you know, the guise, within the veil of the matrix, the devil's illusion. So that's it.